You've seen that face before, somewhere in a dream. Someone you've never met in real life, but in that dream, they felt like someone you'd known forever. Maybe you loved them, maybe you were scared of them, maybe you woke up and spent the whole morning thinking about a person who doesn't even exist. And the strangest part? That feeling didn't go away when you opened your eyes. That's the thing about dreams. They don't ask for permission. They don't care about logic. They just show up. And sometimes they show up with people. Vivid, real, emotional people that your waking mind has never encountered a single time in your life.
So who are these people? Where do they come from? And why does your brain create them so convincingly that you wake up with actual feelings about someone who was never real? That's exactly what we're getting into today. Let's start with something that's going to sound a little strange.
Your brain doesn't invent completely new faces in dreams.
Not even once. Not in a dream, not in your imagination, not anywhere. Every single face you have ever seen in your entire life, your brain stored it, filed it away, even the ones you don't consciously remember.
The person you walked past at the grocery store 3 years ago. The face in the background of a movie you watched once. The profile picture of someone you scrolled past for half a second on social media. All of it. Stored. Every single one.
And when you dream, your brain opens that filing cabinet, pulls out pieces. A nose from one person, eyes from someone else, a smile from a stranger you saw on the street in 2019, and it assembles them into a completely new face. A face you've technically never seen, but built entirely from faces you have.
So when you dream about a stranger, they are not actually a stranger to your brain. They are a remix, a compilation, a Frankenstein of every face your brain ever quietly collected without telling you. Kind of creepy, right? But also kind of incredible. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. And a little funny, because this is the part that nobody talks about. You know those dreams where you're deeply in love with someone? Like full-on romantic, butterflies, holding hands, the whole thing. And then you wake up and you realize you have absolutely no idea who that person was. And for a split second, you feel genuinely sad that they're not real. Yeah, that happens to almost everyone. And here's why. When you're in REM sleep, that's the deep dream stage, your brain is running at almost full capacity. Your emotions are completely active, your memory systems are firing, but your prefrontal cortex, the logical, rational part of your brain that says, wait, this doesn't make sense, that part is basically switched off. So, in a dream, your brain feels everything fully. The love feels real, the fear feels real, the connection feels real. Because to your brain in that moment, it is real. There's no filter saying, hey, this person doesn't exist. There's just the experience, raw and unfiltered. That's why you can wake up from a dream feeling genuinely heartbroken over someone you've never met. Your brain didn't know the difference. And honestly, your heart didn't either. And then there are the nightmare strangers, the ones chasing you, the ones standing in the corner of the room, the ones who don't say anything but somehow feel terrifying just by existing in your dream. Where do they come from? Okay, so this is where the science gets really fascinating. Those threatening figures in your dreams are almost never about the actual person. They're about something you're feeling in real life that your brain hasn't processed yet. Stress at work, a conversation you're avoiding, something you're scared of but haven't admitted to yourself yet. Your brain takes that unresolved emotion and turns it into a character, a physical representation of the thing that's bothering you. And then it puts you in a scenario with that character to see how you respond. Your dreams are literally stress testing you, running simulations, preparing you for emotional situations before they happen in real life. Think about that. While you're sleeping,
Completely unconscious, your brain is essentially doing therapy on you without your permission. And sometimes the therapist decides the best approach is to have a faceless stranger chase you through a parking garage at 2 a.m.
Thanks, brain. Really helpful. But here's the part that I think is the most mind-blowing of all of this. And this is the part that made me genuinely stop and think when I first learned it.
Sometimes the strangers in your dreams are not strangers at all. Sometimes they represent you. Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists in history, had this theory called the shadow self. The idea that we all have parts of ourselves that we don't fully acknowledge. Emotions we suppress, desires we hide, parts of our personality that we push down because we don't know what to do with them.
And according to Jung, those parts show up in your dreams as other people, as characters, as strangers who feel oddly familiar because they are familiar. They are you, just the parts of you that you haven't fully met yet. So that intimidating stranger in your dream who seems incredibly confident and fearless, that might be the version of you that you want to become, but are scared to step into. That mysterious person you feel inexplicably drawn to in a dream, that might be a quality you admire in yourself or in others that you haven't fully embraced yet. Your dreams are not just random noise. They are your inner world talking to you in the only language it knows: story, symbol, emotion. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This all sounds very deep and philosophical. But what about the dreams that are just completely random and make zero sense? Like last week, I dreamed I was in my old school, but it looked like a shopping mall, and my third grade teacher was there, but she had a different face, and we were late for something, but I don't know what, and then I was suddenly on a boat. What does that mean? Honestly, sometimes it means nothing. And that's okay too. Not every dream is a message. Not every stranger is a symbol. Sometimes your brain is just doing maintenance, sorting through the day's information, filing things away, making connections between memories. And the dream you experience is basically just the background noise of that process. Like seeing the loading screen while your phone updates. Your brain is incredibly busy while you sleep, consolidating memories, regulating emotions, clearing out waste products that build up during the day. And sometimes the dreams are just a byproduct of all that activity. Random images and people assembled together with no deeper meaning than the fact that your brain was busy doing other things. So, if you had a weird dream that made no sense, you don't need to spend 3 hours analyzing it. Sometimes a boat is just a boat. But here's something genuinely useful, because I promised you solutions and I meant it. If you want to actually start understanding your dreams and the people in them, here are some things that actually work. First, keep a dream journal. Dreams disappear quickly after you wake up, so write down everything you remember before it fades. Second, focus on the feeling the dream gave you. The emotion matters more than the face. Were you safe, scared, loved, or anxious? That feeling is often the real message. Third, ask yourself what that person represented. They may symbolize love, fear, confidence, safety, or something your mind is trying to process. Fourth, look at what's happening in your life when these dreams appear. Stress, major decisions, and unresolved emotions often show up through dream characters. And fifth, don't be afraid to explore what your dreams reveal. Your subconscious isn't working against you, it's trying to communicate in its own way. The biggest thing to remember is this: every stranger you've ever dreamed about came from your own mind. Whether they're built from memories, emotions, or hidden thoughts, they are a reflection of you. Dreams aren't meaningless. They're one of the most honest windows into what's happening inside your mind. That stranger you dreamed about last night may have had something important to tell you. And maybe they were never really a stranger at all.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. It really helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching.